cool. This is not.
This is the new age of podcasting.
I'm going to bed.
Yes, we are. This is the 8-bit generation sponsored
Uh
by Pixar.
uh
All right, I'll be Star Fox. Let's rock and roll.
Man.
All right, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Steve from the 8BG, and I'm here with the coolest host in the world. And you know he's cool because he has sunglasses on.
Shades.
Yep,
Shades. What's up,
the one and only
world?
Sterlmeister, aka Sterling. And
Hi.
we are the 8-bit generation, and you're listening to the 8BG cast. If you like this episode and other episodes that we have,
I swear
please,
you should do that at the end.
I mean, I should do it first. Because I think if I encourage them now, they made
If
it.
you like this episode, they didn't even heard had a chance to hear it yet.
Well, they're going to like it. That's how I know. That's how good I know we're going to be. They're
Mm.
going to like it. So since you guys are going to like it, just press the like button and subscribe. It's easy.
'Cause so many people have been doing that.
They've been flocking.
Okay. Long as you know.
The system crashed. That's why our numbers are at where it's at because there's too many people trying to subscribe.
Sure.
All right, guys. So we're back in the fold once again. Sterling, any gaming news or updates that you'd like to share?
Nothing significant. Um, I don't remember what we talked about last time. I figured out how to get Sega Saturn working on my iPhone. I think I said that before.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Been emulating a whole lot of shit. So that's been kind of, oh wait, am I supposed to say that?
No, no, no. Emulation is bad. Don't say
Well,
that.
actually, it's not bad if you have the games,
Oh,
and
you do have the games. I
I
know.
have like every game ever made.
Wink, wink. Right?
So,
Wink,
yeah,
wink,
no,
nudge, nudge.
it's been yeah, nothing new. Been playing Apex. I guess I played Star Ocean
Hmm.
Second Story Remastered. It's a game I had on the PlayStation like when I was, I don't know, I want to say like in '99 or something like that.
Hmm.
And it was like fantastic RPG. Uh, and they remade it, and the remake is it's one of those HD 2D games. Looks like kind of Octopath Traveler or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, very very gorgeous to look at, and the full remake treatment. I mean, new voice actors. They kind of remade it on the PSP, like a kind of like a remastered on the PSP, but this is a full on like they went in and added all the options. They made it
Hmm.
a lot easier to play and find out where to go, which wasn't
Hmm.
really a difficult thing, but uh I'm shocked how much work. I, Not that Star Ocean 2 was like a game. I just never expected it to get that kind of treatment. Um Star Ocean's kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna get flamed for saying this, but it's like a mid-tier RPG series where it's
Yeah.
like they only have there's like six main series games, and the second one's probably the most popular, the one they remade, and third one
Hmm.
ending pissed a lot of people off, and the fourth one I heard it was whatever, and the fifth one was bad, and the sixth one most recently actually came out like 2023 or something, was I heard it was decent. But it
Hmm.
wasn't. It's not. This is not like a Final Fantasy killer, but it's very good. I thought the second game was really good. So this remake is, by all accounts, everybody really likes this remake. So I've been playing that. That's probably the most significant thing I played.
Okay.
Oh, and I like randomly played Mario Odyssey. I think I'm like close to the end.
Oh,
I
thank
always
you.
kind of, I always kind of left it on like,
And you haven't beat it yet, right?
no. So I was like testing out my stream to stream
Hmm.
like Wii games, and so I was like, oh, let me try this, and I started playing it, and I was, and then like that's the thing about like Nintendo, you start playing a Nintendo Mario game, and you just like cannot put it down. I was
Yeah.
testing it, and I just kept playing until I fought like I think I got up to that realistic looking dragon, and so I like stopped there.
Mm.
But
Yeah, that's one thing about Mario Odyssey that's been odd to me is that for it's has different art styles throughout the game. Like you have,
yeah,
the regular Mario, and then you have
like human people,
human people of normal size and
and
stature,
then
and
you
then you
have
have these
like
crazy animated people.
a realistic looking Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then you
Mhm.
have like Bowser, who's like not not realistic at all.
Yeah, so it
I,
just plays with styles so much,
I think
but
it's yeah, but
it's
it
a great game.
works.
Mhm.
It is. I'm kind of upset like how long I've taken to actually play it. Usually I'm kind of
I've been telling
early
you,
on that. No,
I've been
I mean
telling.
I've played it, but like it's it's great. I mean, it's one of the best 3D. It's probably one of the best 3D Marios. I still think I mean Galaxy is probably still my favorite, but
Mhm.
this one's very good.
Mhm.
Very very good. So I've been
Very
playing
nice.
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
that's about it. Other than that, I've been playing Overwatch. They had a new hero. They let us try out for a while. It was pretty
Mhm.
cool. It's like some space cadet girl.
It's like yeah, so like she looked like kind of like Ooh La La from Space Channel
Yeah,
5.
I guess you could say that. She moves kind of
Like
like
she skates
she's
almost.
yeah. And she's a support character, and the game needs more support characters. So, uh, yeah, Juno, that's her name. So yeah, so I've been playing that, and that's about it.
Sweet. For me, I just been playing a lot of oldies. For a while I got this wrestling bug, and I started, it just started off with like, being nostalgic about the Attitude Era from WWF.
Hmm.
And then I started playing No Mercy again
Oh,
for N64.
great.
And and it's a great game. I'm not gonna lie. It's maybe some of this nostalgia talking. I didn't really play it that much when I was younger because I actually didn't have the game. I actually bought it years
Mm.
ago, but never played it. But I started playing it again, and it's actually really fun. Just knowing what the limitations of the 64, it's actually a really, really fun game, and jam packed. Even till this day. So I've been playing that. Um, which is just great. And again, like I said, nostalgia because it's just, you've seen all these old wrestlers and everything. The one thing though, when I was looking at the roster, is that while I'm playing, even though the game is about 20 years old at this point, or maybe more than 20 years old
Hmm.
at this point, it's just crazy how many wrestlers have passed away since the game's come out. You know what I mean? It's just like kind of crazy, like wow, like I look at the roster, I'm like, oh, this has a lot of people, but yeah, this guy's dead, this guy's dead, she's dead, so it's just really, really kind of eerie sometimes when you're playing these old games. Um,
Yeah, I'm not a big. I'm never big into wrestling ever. So
really?
never. Like
Mm,
when I was like maybe like 7, maybe like it used to come on Saturday after like the Saturday morning cartoons,
hmm
and I would watch it. But then after that, uh, like I guess I don't understand if it. I know it's everybody knows it's fake and it's more entertainment than anything. But
hmm
then if it's to me, if it's fake, it's like so weird to make it seem like it's real, even though it's knowingly fake. So like instead, to me, if it's like fake, just make it like even crazier than how it is. Make it like super crazy. Like
I think
resurrect people, like kill people off, resurrect them from the dead. I mean, which
I,
they kind of
I,
done
I'm sure they've done
with
storylines like
like
that where
Undertaker, but like
yeah, where they've done storylines where people have died and come back and this and that and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
but yeah. So
but yeah, it's been fun playing that game. And what else? Um, I played Fortnite this morning again, and
oh,
I play every time I play Fortnite. There's always something new, so I feel like I don't know when's the last time you played Fortnite, but
maybe like a couple months ago. It's kind of crazy how what that game is. Every time you play it, it's like
yeah, it's like a Lego
uh,
place now. It's like there's zero build. I mean,
or
I knew of zero build before, but it's just like with all these cars and in Lego attached
well,
to it.
Lego is like a survival game.
Hmm
That's the whole different thing, and then it's like Lego Fortnite is like survival.
mm
Fortnite. You got to feed yourself and build this and that. Whereas no build is just regular Fortnite. Because the cars and shit are in any mode, but no build is
mm
literally you just can't build.
mm
can't do the building. And actually, I find that for me personally, a lot more fun to play
Oh yeah.
than building because building has gotten so like being able to put up cover at any time to me is kind of lame. So like I don't know.
I
I
mean, that's
find
what
it
did set it apart initially, like just
right,
to be,
but then it was initially you couldn't build like or either like they introduced like turbo building, which allows you to build like super fast in one of the early updates, and
hmm
I don't know if that's just all of it, but like when people are building crazy stuff, I get there's a whole fun part to that, but that would never appeal to me at all. It was fun in the beginning, and then once
hmm
turbo building, once people built like it just became like I don't know, I never liked it at that.
hmm Yeah,
So,
but
but it's crazy for a game that costs $0. How much content is in there
yeah,
that like you can build maps and build race cars and build tracks and play all different types of modes and like you know that game changed the landscape of fucking gaming stupidly
yeah, definitely
now
did.
like
Like
because
it's
now the free to play game is where they're going. They want everybody wants a piece of that Fortnite pie, and some
hmm
companies get a little bit of it, but they're gonna keep trying. That's why they're throwing out all these free to play games and hoping something sticks like
sticks.
Fortnite.
hmm Yeah, I think
So
Fortnite was a class of its own. I mean, just the
yeah,
sheer
no one's catching it. I mean, it destroyed literally any other games that people like company was working on a lot of time.
hmm
Like they got somebody got canceled just to pull into Fortnite. Like we got to take this team, bring them to Fortnite.
hmm
Everybody Fortnite because this game is making us $1 billion a day or something, whatever
And
crazy.
and what I find amazing about Fortnite is that it's just like ongoing. Like doesn't seem to be doesn't ever seem to have like a lull period where it's like it's waning in popularity or anything like that. As far as I know, it just keeps going and going and going,
Yep.
and almost nonstop. So that's what I find most fascinating about the
It
success of
it yeah,
Fortnite.
it's planted itself in a zone where it's its own thing and nothing's gonna come close to it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Nothing's coming close to it. So,
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
amazing.
I don't hate it or anything. Just
Mhm. Yeah, it's always
Fortnite.
fun to interesting just going in and see how there's so much new things that I just never like. For example, am I wrong? The whole thing with like hanging, is that new? Like being able to
Yeah.
like yeah.
Like maybe like a year ago or whatever, they
Okay.
introduced like running fast and like
hmm
the sliding and all sort of stuff you couldn't do before. And now you can
Yeah.
hang.
Yeah.
They made it more parkour like.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Aside from that, any other games? Well, just played a little bit of Among Us, and then recently I went to a store that's nearby. Let me actually just do a quick shout out, and maybe one day we can go there. But it's a store. It's a called a store of fire and dice, so which I
Hmm.
thought was kind of cool. But it's like a store that has like a lot of those card games, like war what's those card games, Dungeon and Dragon,
Hmm.
all those type of dice games. But they also have a small section dedicated to video games, and it seems to be like a couple of used video games. And I'm a retro gamer, so old school gamer. So when I saw it, my eyes were kind of like lit up, and I saw a Sega Genesis, which I don't have at the current moment. I'm still not picking up over there. And then I was actually interested in trying to get a Sega Saturn,
Hmm.
actual Sega Saturn. I don't know. Have you ever had that console before? The actual
I've
console?
never owned it. I've played it, but I've never owned it.
Yeah, but you currently do now since you had the emulator, right?
I mean, I guess.
Just-
There's no, and the crazy thing is like not a lot on there that I really want to play either. Like
hmm
I'm because either it's been out in some better form or
Yeah.
it doesn't appeal to me,
hmm
but there's still like really good things. That's why I don't even like I said, I'm going for the RPGs and stuff that
hmm
to me, I think RPGs are timeless to play, like even if they look crappy.
Yeah.
But
I,
and
I'm just more
so
interested in just seeing how it looks and how it feels to have it. I'm sure it's probably,
I mean, the Sega has some interesting games and ideas. The one game that to me needs to come out the depths and be reborn is a game called Burning Rangers.
yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's just such a Sega game where you're like They're like these futuristic firemen, and all you're doing is like going into buildings and taking out fires, but you're like evading and doing stuff and shooting and jetpacking and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
like, it's one of those games where it's a victim of the time. Like the frame rate looks terrible, and we wouldn't have
Mhm.
cared back then, but like now it's like,
It's hard to
nah,
play.
it doesn't look, yeah, it just doesn't look appealing.
Yeah.
But
It
Saturn has always intrigued me.
it,
But
it kind of goes back to like the whole thing. Like I mentioned earlier, I was playing WWF No Mercy for N64, and it's like, if I always wonder if like for people who never experienced that kind of gameplay,
yeah,
how they take it, how they look at it nowadays. Because for example, No Mercy has a lot of slowdown sometimes, like especially when you have those 4-on-4 matches. But I know in my mind, okay, that's just the way it is, and I can ignore it. But I wonder like how people who haven't experienced that, how they take it, or is it just something they automatically think, okay, it's a video game, so that's the little jink that comes with it sometimes.
I think it's partially like it's like asking us to go back and play like Pong or whatever those game consoles that you have to put like a paper on the television screen and use
Hmm.
your imagination. To me, it's like, am I gonna find that appealing? Hell no. But people that can't grew up with it probably is like, oh, that's everything.
Hmm.
So that's the thing about game. Some games I think are timeless and doesn't
Hmm.
matter, but like,
Like Super Mario 64.
yeah, and even that to me is like, I don't know. It's not. I'm not gonna say anything bad about it, but
Well,
like,
good. Make sure, because
it's
then,
not one of the games. I don't feel the need to ever go back and ever play that game ever again.
but
I
the
I'd
game's
rather
almost
play.
timeless though, because
Eh,
it gets to me, it gets the platforming, the 3D space like right. Like I think it's it's the grandfather of all 3D platformers.
yeah, but I feel like they've outdone themselves, and I'd rather play Galaxy
Of
or
course,
even
yeah, yeah.
Odyssey. So
Hmm.
like what I'm saying. So to me mentally, I don't feel a lot of reason to just go back to it. If they remade it and fixed it up a bit, maybe I'll do it. But I don't feel like I'd ever need. I did everything. I got the 120 stars, yada yada yada, and so I feel like Whereas like Ocarina of Time, I could see myself going back to play,
Hmm.
but because even though I can't say they necessarily did better than that, I think they have, but
Hmm.
there's something about that I can still go back and kind of experience again. Mario, I don't feel like that specific 64 one, I don't know. And Sunshine too. I don't care for it. But
Hmm.
the I feel like always in the back of my head, you say Galaxy, okay, I'm there. Odyssey, I'm there. Like those are games I feel like, you know, but that's just how I feel now. I could probably
Hmm.
change my mind in 5 years.
Yeah, I probably implore you to at least when you have a spare time, play a little bit of Mario 64, and you'll kind
I
of see.
have. I have the
Yeah.
I had the Wii collection
Oh, yeah, you got a
thing.
Switch collection, right? You have the
And
Switch
and
All Star.
since I have emulators, I've been playing it on my phone. Like sometimes I'll
Mm-hmm.
just whip it out and play it. And it's still fun. It works well too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I have no like other than getting maybe the first 2 stars, then I'm done. I don't have no desire to play any more of it.
Okay, interesting. All right,
Yeah.
and then in video game news, today was actually July 29th, and today is the last day to download any 360 games from the 360 Xbox 360 marketplace on an actual 360. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like the end of an era because I mean, even though 360 has been done for a while, it's just kind of like,
What did they say? It's like 19 years.
yeah,
That's when the
19
Xbox.
years. Been there for 19 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so let's give our ode to 360. 360 was a juggernaut. I don't think anybody expected how influential and major the 360 was, uh, in that generation.
Is this what we're talking about today? Is this
We could talk about that. Do you feel like,
is Yeah, we're on a time crunch.
yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk
All
about
right, so
360 a
that's
little bit.
that's what it is.
Hmm.
360. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
So 360, I mean, I'll say this about 360, my experience with the 360. I remember the first time I saw the 360 was when they had the MTV special about the 360.
Hmm.
I think Microsoft was trying to get a head start on the next generation because the PS2 was an absolute steamroller that generation. Like they did, killed, it was pretty much the the winner of that generation. What's the third? Is that the fourth generation or third
I don't know.
generation?
Doesn't
Uh,
matter.
I don't know. Just trying to just trying to be
Ah,
accurate. But yeah, so it was like, the PS2 was just, king of all of them. But I think Microsoft was looking to position themselves as the first to be first for the next generation. So they came out the 360, I believe 2005, right? Am I right? Yeah, 2000,
yeah.
2005, like late 2005. And at that time I was working at a video game store, and I remember like how hard it was to get in 360. Like it was a mom and pop, a mom and pop video game store, and they could only manage to get at least I think three 360s, and they were selling for a lot. Like they were selling, I think it was like the price was, correct me if I'm like, 300, 400 for a
Mhm.
360, and I think they had to mark it up with a couple of accessories to like 600 because they were just so hard to get. Anyway, it was just like 360 seemed slow in the beginning, but then I don't think anybody could imagine how much uh Steam it had throughout that generation. Like I remember Gears of War was a big game changer in terms of like how people viewed the games, and that cover system. So it's kind of sad to see it, start to, I mean, it's been 20 years, almost 20 years. So, of course, all the good things have to come to an end. But it's just interesting to see that, and, how long it's been actually since it's been going.
Oh, 360 was a system I did not want to get at
Hmm.
all. I remember I got the PS3 first. Um, and the issue with that is that most of my friends didn't have a PS3. Everybody had a 360 at that time.
Hmm.
I was a Sony loyalist, Sony fanboy. Um, and and I was always trying to play like the Sony version of some of their games or something like, oh, you got Halo coming out or whatever. All right, I'll play some Resistance. Or
Hmm.
you got this game, I'll play Warhawk or whatever.
Hmm.
So, and while these games were fun, one of the things that 360 did so much better was online. Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah.
You had to pay for it, which was a bummer, but
Hmm.
party chat and stuff. Even though party chat wasn't like it took a while, but that was once they created that, that was like one of the best things ever. So I caved in and I got Xbox 360 with a Halo 3.
Hmm.
Um, and I was pretty convinced that Xbox at that point was much more fun to play than PlayStation 3.
Hmm.
PlayStation 3 early on really didn't have any hitters. So, you know, and then even the games that were cross platform, it was just like my friends are on 360. So I'm gonna buy Call of Duty on there and play Halo and Halo, Reach. And like you said, Gears of War
Hmm.
was the thing about Gears of War was one of the games where it wasn't for me, but I had a friend who said once he's seen it and like the graphics and stuff, the Unreal Engine, all that stuff.
Hmm.
It was clearly the jump of the next generation. Like you knew you were not getting anything looking like Gears of War on PlayStation 2 or whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah, and so the arcade came later, right? It wasn't
Yeah, okay.
initially.
Yeah, they did have their own games. Like I forgot what they called them in the beginning. Because I remember one of the first games I downloaded was Bomberman Live. It was an
Mm,
online Bomberman game that you can play online with other people. $10 at the time. And it was kind of like these small games where it's just like, wow, these, you can play games like, first kind of like digital download games that you can play. But they had Bomberman Live, they had like Hex or something like that, like some kind of Hex
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
But then later on, they had a more robust program called Xbox Arcade. I don't really remember the timeline because I know they had like a summer of arcade or something like that. They promoted like a lot of indie games, but
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of games did come on there. A lot of ports came on there, like Castlevania. What's that? Which one is that called? Castlevania,
Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night.
Mhm.
What else? A lot of things started porting on there, and then it just kind of took on a life of its own.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing lots of games. It was cool because you could just get $10 and get a fun game that you'll play for like a month or a couple of
Mhm.
weeks or even a few
I,
days.
I mean, some games were really good, like Shadow Complex. Even though it came out later on, a couple years later, Shadow Complex was really good. That was a Metroidvania game,
Yeah,
style
I
as
know,
a
I know. Yeah, you love Shadow Complex. I know.
it was a great game. I was actually surprised how good it was. Like I was addicted to that game for a while.
Hmm.
Did you finish? Did you beat it?
I've never played it.
Yep. Yo, you want to come
I'm
over?
never going to play it either.
Yo, come
So
here. When you come over, I'll have Shadow Complex running for
no,
you.
I'm not gonna play it.
You can play. It's good.
I'll stick to my Metroid. I'll stick to Nintendo. That's the best. All right.
Okay. If you think so. What
That's
else?
why. That's why Shadow Complex is a series still going strong, huh?
It's a hidden gem, okay?
Okay. I'm not saying it's bad, but
Yeah, but it's no, really, it is
I'm
really a
playing
good game.
Metroid. It's I got my taste of it. It's too much.
Okay, keep your Metroid. All right.
Keep my
Um,
Metroid. Okay.
but I got the 360 a year into its lifespan. I was there. I was of the notion, even though I was working at the game store and everything, I was of the notion that I wanted to see what games were going to come out in the long run before I invested so much into the game. Because I was like probably like what 19 or 18 at the time. So
Mhm.
money. You have to be careful with how much to spend. I didn't have the money. Did I have the money at the time? I probably didn't have the money at the time to spend that much. But I'm like, you know what? Let me just kind of see where this goes. And then a year later, I end up, seeing it. And like you mentioned, Gears of War, I think that's definitely a system seller because that game looks so good where you looked at it, it's like, damn, I gotta get this. So I end up getting the 360 and then I bought Gears of War and it was a blast. It was really good. And then, interestingly enough, I remember later on, since in 2006, after the Wii came out and became another juggernaut, for Nintendo, they started doing the avatars. Do you
Yeah.
remember those avatars? What was your opinion on that? Because I thought they
I
were
don't
kind of
know.
cool. I
No,
thought they were,
they were stupid because the stupid thing is like where Nintendo like kind of seamlessly integrated it. They like Xbox like forced you to do it, and
Mhm,
then it just like it changed everything, and then they like went to an update and made them like thinner and taller, and
yeah,
then it was like, oh, okay, we get it. The Wii is successful. Like you don't have to copy everything. Just make more Gears of War and make more whatever. That's all people
well,
come to
they
Xbox for.
they did. They had
We
like
don't
5 Gears of
come
War
for
game.
we don't come for Connect and all this other stuff. We're not here. We're not on Xbox for that. Yeah, I mean, it went from like one of the systems I cared least about and definitely didn't want to one of the most fun systems I think I've had. Uh,
Mhm,
I'm a JRPG person, and they really weren't on the original Xbox, and they kind of struggled on 360 for a little while, and then all of a sudden they just got some like bangers. They got
yeah, Final Fantasy.
uh, well, they got Tales of Asperia, which was Xbox exclusive, which was crazy because
Hmm.
Tales is huge in Japan, and I would call that like you saw I call it Star Ocean mid tier. And Star Ocean was funny is because it was a spinoff. It was not a spinoff, but like creators of Tales like went there. There's similarities in the game, but
Hmm.
Tales is like a top tier franchise, especially in Japan. Um, and so once one was exclusive to Xbox, which never did well in Japan anyway. It's kind of
Hmm.
crazy that a JRPG of that magnitude was exclusive. Wasn't exclusive for long though. It went to PS3
Yeah.
eventually.
Hmm.
But yeah, I enjoyed playing that. Lots of RPGs. The weirdest thing was some. It was so funny that some games performed really well on Xbox 60,
Hmm.
especially if they were on Unreal Engine compared to like PS3. So like Bayonetta was one game I played on Xbox, which was
Yeah.
like I heard
It
it
was
was
pretty
really
much
shitty.
crippled definitely on the PS3.
Yeah. Also, one game is weird. I don't know if I played this on PS3 or Xbox, but the DMC Devil May Cry, the one that
Hmm.
everyone hates. Which I really like. I don't know what people are saying. I think that game's fun. But that was kind of wonky. I felt like either it was maybe the Xbox version was like 60 frames and one was I don't know, it was some kind of hubbub with that. But Bayonetta sucked on PS3.
Hmm.
Like it didn't run well and all that other stuff. And I was glad I played the Xbox version. However, when you mentioned Final Fantasy 13, which was strictly made for PS3, uh, then they ported it over to Xbox, and the Xbox version was
Two discs.
terrible. It
Hmm.
was like like 3 disc or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
3D, yeah, probably something like that. Yeah.
It was like something like that, but it was like all the FMVs had to be like compressed and all this other stuff, and because
But,
probably I don't know at the
but
time.
PS3 is using Blu-ray, which probably held more data. So,
Yeah, yeah. So, and also the game didn't look as good, didn't run as well, and that's because I think being something strictly developed for PS3, which emotional, well, no, that was PS2. Whatever it is, 6 core, whatever thing was really
Emotional Engine,
hard.
I think Emotional Engine
It was
was
PS2. That was
PS3,
PS2
right? Yeah.
emotion. PS3 had some core, 6 core or something, and it was really, really, or maybe it was like 8 core, but it was really difficult to develop, like four.
Hmm.
So once you did, it was like hard to port that over, I guess. So that's why it was like 3 discs, not only just the space, but also just, just a lot of reasons. It was, but it. Now you want to talk about arcade? Arcade was a whole lot of fun. I was, I loved classic games, so I bought like all these Sega Genesis games, Streets of
Hmm.
Rage and
Oh yeah.
Golden Axe. And the weirdest thing was, I remember after I played Golden Axe so much,
Hmm.
and like a few years after, I went back to play it, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
And I knew I bought it. Certain games you, and the weird thing is because nowadays, at least when you kind of buy the game, even if it's taken off the store, like you can still play it or whatever.
Hmm.
But this I couldn't play.
Yeah, they
It,
said they revoked the license completely.
yeah, and so it was always a trial version, even though I purchased it. And so from that point, I could never play it ever through there again.
That's one of my
And that was
biggest
kind of a
gripes.
disappointment
That's it.
of,
That's one of my biggest gripes of Xbox 360 Arcade because there are so many games where I purchased it and then, the license was revoked or something of that effect, and I can't play it again. Like for example,
yeah,
Bomberman Live, I bought it and then at some point, and this is early on, like maybe 2 years after I bought it. Every time I try to play it, it gives me a trial version. I call
yeah,
Microsoft, they can't really give me an answer why it's like that, but it's just
yeah,
like
it
that.
is.
And I refused to buy it another one because I'm like,
Here's the reason. You know why? Because when you
yeah,
buy these games, you're just buying a license to play them. You're not
hmm,
technically buying them. You don't own. They can revoke the license at any time,
hmm,
and that's all that fine print shit. So owning digital stuff really is just owning a digital license to play, and
hmm,
if it's not hard stored on your whatever, that you can play without. But even like if you had it, it's still like you couldn't play it. It was,
yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know. It
that's kind of the
was,
first time you kind of saw like the limitations of digital only games. Like
and
they're
it was very confusing too because I was like,
because they didn't explain it to you.
why? Yeah, and you didn't know that all of a sudden you
Mhm.
couldn't play. It was just you just boot it up
Yeah.
and it just would be a trial
And,
version, and
and
you couldn't
cheats.
buy it.
Yeah, and
And
cheats.
know
Mhm.
like there was always another version of it somewhere. Sometimes that's what they did, and then you had to purchase that. Or I remember we
Mhm.
all purchased like the Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time remake, which was
Yeah.
trash. We played
Mhm.
that, and then like a month later, and like we couldn't play it again or something like that. Whatever. It's
Same thing with the
so
Simpsons arcade game. The Simpsons arcade game, it
yeah.
was a game I've tried so hard all my life trying to get that game. Like I remember I had a old computer that I actually was able to find a ROM online, and I had, it almost crashed my computer, but
I mean, it's
I I,
yeah,
I downloaded the game because that was a fun arcade game. It was such a great arcade game. I think it's still to this day.
yeah. It's
But
still fun to play.
I bought it, and then one day I went back to Xbox trial version. You
Yeah.
know, that's why I do have a 360 right now that I haven't hooked up to the internet yet, and I'm thinking about just kind of leaving it that way because I'm afraid that if I hook it back to the internet, it's gonna revert all those games that I have. Like I have a lot of games from Gold because also too at one point Xbox started doing this games for Gold program, games with Gold program where you would be able to download at least 2 games per month that they had. And it could be, and usually in the beginning, it was like the good, like, you know, top tier games. Sometimes you may have a AAA game, other times you may have, a B level game, but it's still, free games you can download. And I have so many of those that I'm just afraid of if I connect back to the internet with my Xbox 360 and the hard drive that I have is gonna take away all. I
But
don't know.
those like that was always like contingent on having gold, right? So it's like
I mean, you can play without gold. I mean, you can, from my understanding, and I could be wrong.
I think you
You know,
might be.
Yeah.
I think you need gold to play it. Like you had to download them the month they came
Hmm.
with a gold, and as long as you have gold, you can play them. So the minute you don't have gold, they would still be downloaded, and you could like get gold again, and then you could play them. But the minute you don't have gold, you lose access to play. I remember because I had those too. And
Hmm.
maybe you lose gold, you can't play them.
I feel like that's something new. I mean, not new. I feel like because I've never had that issue before where playing any of the gold games. I mean,
You
for
never
like
had, so you stopped having gold and you were able to play
there was
them.
one time I started having gold, but I feel like I was still able to play them. But I could be wrong.
I'm
But
pretty sure it's,
yeah,
but yeah, go ahead.
yeah. But it was still cool. It was kind of it was cool to kind of be able to get these games and download them. Grow your collection very fast. Again, there was like a lot of games like Dead Space.
I never felt like the thing about that though, and it's I never felt like I was part of that, and I did get. I never felt like I owned the games because of that. I remember that's
Mhm.
why I was kind of like, it's almost like Xbox, the Game Pass now that you can just
Mhm.
download whatever.
Yeah.
Like it feels a lot different than actually buying a game, even though I can actually just play those games for, most of them, some of them stay on there indefinitely, but like
Mhm.
some of the games they'll disappear after they give you a warning like months in advance, like, hey, this game's leaving in like 3 months or 4 months, and you just
They're
play
on
it
Game
now.
Pass, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
something about having that service is like it's cool, and for some people, I know that works well for them.
Hmm.
For me, it's never been a thing because I always felt like at any point these games could be taken away from me. So I don't know. I never felt attached to them or the need to play them, I guess.
Hmm.
That's just me. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree that sometimes when you do have options to get so many games, especially for free, you tend to not
It's
value them as
overwhelming.
much. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
it's
be like,
like,
oh, let me just add it to my collection.
yeah.
And then when they just find a collection of like 100 games, like, damn, did I ever play this game? Like, I looked through a
Yeah,
list
I'm
of,
paying for it and like, do I use it? Like, no, I barely play the games, but it's like kind of cool to be able to play them.
hmm
But I never, there's one game I really want to play too, like that
hmm
came out, and I haven't touched it.
hmm
Um, so yeah, Xbox was 360. And it's funny because I knew at whatever reason, once the 360 was starting to fade out a little bit,
hmm
I really felt like after seeing like Xbox One and PS4, I was like, well, that's it. I don't think I'm getting another Xbox again.
hmm
I was not impressed with Xbox One, the whole thing about it. And, so Xbox 360 to me was like the lone and to this day, it's the best Xbox console. There's no
Yeah,
ifs ands
it
about.
was a game
It's like,
changer.
like you could say like PS2 was really great, PS1 was great. PS4 and PS2 to me are pretty close in terms of me playing them a lot and really enjoying both systems. PS3 was not so great for me.
Hmm
Like I enjoyed a lot of it, and but PS3 was a system that I really tried to force myself to like more than I did.
hmm
Whereas Xbox 360 was easy to like that. I mean, like we said before, online play was new, like
Yeah,
not new, but it was new to consoles. Like they have very archaic. Like PS2 could go online, Dreamcast could go online, but it was very, you know,
yeah. 360 definitely bought like
360
online
made
play
it.
mainstream.
I mean, some of the party chat system is something. Discord is basically that now for everybody. But like
Hmm
that was a thing. You couldn't do that on PlayStation originally, the PS3. And then even when you could on PS3, it was so
Chunky,
like they did
clunky,
certain things so
janky.
smart with the 360 in terms of like bundling everything with a headset
Hmm
too. Where PS3 you had to use a Bluetooth headset that you could either pay separately or just get your own, and it never worked as good. Like it just wasn't so like Xbox made it so simple. Like
hmm
it was one of those few times you really felt like you're paying for this and you're getting something like way better. The gamer score was cool.
Oh yeah,
Achievements,
achievements. Oh, how we can forget that? That thing came for
achievements,
two. Like people
achievements
like
now, right? Now people
yeah.
go crazy about achievements. I mean, not,
hmm
I think that age where people really, really cared about them, like, is over. A
hmm
gamer score, but some people still will chase achievements. But when they brought that in, I remember people would play games just to get
Get achievements.
achievements to increase their gamer score.
Like I
You
remember one of
know,
my old coworkers at a video game store. He would buy like crappy games just so that his achievement score can be,
yeah, like they say, if you want to get like 1,000 free points, just play Peter Jackson's King Kong. It's like easy,
Mhm,
and if you beat it, you get like the full 1,000. You know, some achievements you got to play the game on extra hard, and it's tough. But that
mhm,
game was, some there was websites that had list of easy to get 1,000 achievement
mhm.
games for
But I
Xbox.
also think too back then it was really new, so no one really knew maybe how influential achievements would be. It's probably like, yeah, whatever. But I think
And
later
it
on,
and the weird thing was it had nothing like you got nothing from it either, but
it's
it
just
was so
bragging rights.
cool. Right. You like it was cool to do. And it was cool to see you did something, boom, achievement unlocked. Like it comes up and you're like, oh,
Oh yeah, that
so
bloop, that was iconic. Like, oh shoot,
achievement
I
unlocked.
got this
We used to,
achievement.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they used to like my friends would every time they heard it, they said, boom, achievement unlocked. They
Mhm.
would just
You
always
pause
say
the game, be
that.
like, wait, what, how did I get this?
you
Oh, I did
know,
that.
you
Oh,
would
that's
look to
dope.
see, yeah, or you just knew I had to play this game extra hard to get, beat it without getting touched or something
Mhm.
crazy. And when you saw that little thing come down, you were just hyped.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
And
It was,
one
it
thing,
was, it was a way. It was probably out of all console purchases, probably the most under. I don't know how to phrase it. It was just unexpectedly probably one of my favorite consoles.
unexpected
That's
game
the thing.
changer.
Not even the game changer aspect of it, because I think it's just more of how I never thought I would enjoy it as much as I did.
Mhm.
I that other than red ringing, that's a whole nother thing. I had to
Oh yeah, they did
find.
that. So my original 360 actually did have an issue before. So initially, I remember I was playing Mass Effect at this time,
Mm-hmm.
and one day, like, it just stopped reading discs out of nowhere, and I don't know what happened. It had no red ring, but it just it just didn't read the disc anymore. So
Yeah.
had to send it back to Microsoft, and I had to wait. It took me a while to get another 360 for a while. So I forgot what system I was playing, but I finally got another one, and eventually I transitioned to a Xbox Series, not Series, Xbox Slim. Sorry, Xbox 360S, the shiny black one. So I transitioned to that one and gave the other one to my cousin. But yeah, man, it was just like
I
it
don't.
was
I don't
definitely.
remember if I had the shiny black one or the regular black one.
So there was like Xbox Elite, and
I
that's
know.
one.
I just no, no, no. I'm talking about like I know about the Elite, but
Mhm,
there was the arcade model which was like cheaper, and then there
mhm.
was
Oh,
like one.
that came out later on, right? That arcade
Yeah, yeah,
model.
but because I bought it after when I first bought mine and it died from like two red rings, which was a whole different issue that could happen
Mhm,
instead of the three one. But it died, so I waited a little while, and then they released the black ones, like the newer, slimmer black ones that didn't red ring at all.
mhm,
So I bought, but they came in two finishes. One was like a shiny matte finish, and then I think the arcade version had it was black, but it had like a more plastic finish on it. And I
mhm.
know, and it's not the Elite either. I know like with the Elite was something. It was like the Elite was like gray, wasn't it gray,
No,
not
it
black?
was like matte black.
Oh, I thought the other thing was.
Yeah, it
Hold
was
on, let
matte
me look
black,
it
and
up.
then the other one, the Xbox S, was like a
X
glossy finish, glossy black
Xbox
Elite.
360 Elite. Okay, it's all black. Okay. And then, yeah, well, I didn't have that one. And I had whatever. I had one, it was black, but it wasn't that. So, anyway, let's wrap this up because I gotta wake up early.
Mhm,
So yeah, summary, rest in peace, Xbox Live Marketplace.
mhm.
Some games on there I wish I could play, like Hardcore Uprising. I wish there was some way I could play that game other than um
I got
whipping out my old Xbox, which I forgot why I stopped playing it. I don't know if it's like, oh my, I don't know. I think I letting somebody use the battery,
mhm.
the charger, not the charger, but the
Like
power
that.
cord,
Mhm.
and I don't know if messed it up. I never bought a new one, and so it's like sitting in my basement.
Yeah.
But but I'm never gonna go back there. And uh, because like anything I want to play on it, you can probably play somewhere else if I ever.
Mm,
Or the newer Xbox, you get backwards compatible half the shit. But the
mm.
arcade stuff, yeah, that a lot of that stuff's gone. Uh, can't buy any Avatar clothing anymore.
Oh, I remember that. Oh my God. I think that said the president, like, we were speaking of Fortnite earlier, and I feel like that's like the president of like a lot of these microtransaction things. Like I remember, really quick, one of the first transactions, because they talked about, buying things for your game characters initially. And
Are you gonna
remember
talk about horse armor?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Oh,
horse armor. How people were just like livid at the fact that you're paying for just armor. Because remember too, the generation that we come from, a lot of stuff was already in the games. Like if you wanted to unlock an extra costume, you have to do, a certain, tasks to unlock it. Whether it's beat the game or do whatever task they want you to do to unlock the things. So we're used to having everything be within the game. Now, you know, adding like extra content and paying for it, if you're a PC gamer back then, you're used to that, because they had expansion packs and things like that. But for those playing on consoles, usually that goes into a sequel. You know what I mean? Like quick example, Beautiful Joe. I love Beautiful Joe, and then they had a sequel called Beautiful Joe 2. But Beautiful Joe 2 wasn't so different than the first one. Maybe a little tweak here and there to certain things, but it wasn't like a huge overhaul of the system that they introduced in the first game. If that came out nowadays, that could have easily been DLC. You know what I mean? Whereas back in the day, it would be a sequel.
mhm.
But I kind of say that to kind of say that, that's the kind of mindset that where we come from and what we're used to as gamers. But now you have a game where you're going to pay for just horse armor that doesn't change anything within the game. It just allows you to just, have a decorative feature for one of your horses. So people are livid. They're like, this is crazy. And it's kind of funny to see that first happen to now where people are more comfortable buying a hat for their character, and
Uh,
even kind of taking it back more when Xbox 360 had their avatars, you could purchase clothes for them, like actual clothes. And I'm guilty of that. I bought shades for like $5 or something like that. That now I can't. What it means now? Nothing, because now the system's done. They don't have no avatar support, so
eh,
it's kind of gone with the digital ether.
I mean, I bought clothes in real life that are nothing now. So to me, it's not even that crazy. But like, yeah, I'll quickly touch on that. Is that I think if you go back and look at it, Bethesda was ahead of their time, I guess, charging $5.
Yeah,
But like, boy, don't you
still
wish things were
nowadays.
$5? Don't you wish things were $5 now? Like, there's
That's a steal.
Overwatch. There's like Overwatch arm like costumes that are $40, or like you want to buy the whole
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop set of Overwatch characters.
Mhm.
Yeah, fork over $50. Which yeah, this game is free, but it's really you want to play as Spike Spiegel, fork over $50. And the reason I say that is because I did because I
Mhm.
want to play as Spike Spiegel because I
Mhm.
love Cowboy Bebop. So
They got you.
there's
That's
they
how they
got
get
me.
you.
They get me. I mean, like I got the Bebop tattoo, man. It's just
Let me see that. Hold on. Bring it up closer. Hold on. Oh man, you're gonna
see
carry all that
Space
weight?
Cowboy. You
You the
gotta
Space
carry that weight.
Cowboy?
Yeah. Oh,
Ah,
the
sweet.
swordfish. Come
When
on,
did you get
man.
that one? I don't think I've seen that one.
Last year. Yeah, well, we haven't really hung out. So
Yeah. I'm like, I
I
haven't seen
got it
it
last
before.
year. I loved it, but that's
Mhm.
Cowboy Bebop. So they once I saw that in Overwatch, I was like, here, just take my money. Just here. DLC, I don't care. I don't care. Stupid costume that won't be useful in 5 years. I don't care. $50. Take it. Take my money.
What's funny? So you say that, right? So today I'm playing Fortnite and I'm like, there's no way. I'm looking at the costumes and everything that they have. And, of course, now because of the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, they're doing a lot of promo for that. So you can buy the costumes or whatnot.
Which were
So,
already in the game from
mhm.
before, but now they're like putting them back in the vault.
Oh, yeah, they're taking out the digital vault
They're
now.
taking out
So,
the yeah, because
and
there's a costume for everybody in Fortnite. Like
oh, yes, every brand,
name a character. It's the only characters that are not in Fortnite are like Disney. That's
mhm.
about it. Maybe like some Warner, but no, but like just strictly Disney.
I mean, technically they have Star Wars, so it's,
Okay, yeah, I
and
guess, yeah,
Marvel.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so, through that.
So never
But
mind that portion of Disney. Yeah,
yeah. But I was thinking today, like, there's nothing that will entice me to buy anything for like my character unless it's free. And then I was thinking, damn, if they had a Knight Rider skin, I might, I might be tempted.
It's so weird. You're seeing like Transformers in there, or you'll see like what will we say, Star Wars, and then
Star
you'll
Wars
see like
figures.
fucking Goku. Like,
Yeah.
like this is crazy. Like
Peter
and
Griffin. Come
yeah,
on,
and
like,
then there's like all the dances, and then you have like real life music now. When you play certain dance moves,
yeah,
it plays like hip hop songs from like I don't know, name
2001.
somebody that's
Like that
cool.
Nelly
No,
song,
but
like
like even now, like even modern people like songs, and it's like,
yeah, that's one thing I noticed too. They had audio, they had the weekend, they had
yeah.
Nelly.
I
I'm
mean, they
just
have
like,
live concerts in Fortnite.
yeah,
It's crazy.
it's insane. Like, oh my
Remember last
goodness.
year they tried to do Martin Luther King? They had a Martin Luther King thing with a museum in the game.
And I think that they didn't have to take it down or something like that because it was
I don't
uh,
know. They only had it up for a week, I think, but still,
mhm.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess I appreciate the effort. But anyway, uh, let's close this out.
All right. So
Uh,
again, guys, 360 is the best system out there. Go get it. And if
don't go get it.
nah, but
Get an Xbox Series X Slim or
yeah,
whatever, and
at this
then
point, you might as
you
well.
can experience most of the good shit if you're
Or
talking
get
about
an
the
Xbox
games.
One and then connect it to your TV for the ultimate experience.
Make sure you have the Connect
Oh yeah, don't
there
forget to
too.
connect. And it's remember it's on at all times, so it's gonna
Oh,
be reading you. So keep it on at all times.
uh,
Don't obscure. It's sign
reading
of
you very inaccurate.
and it's listening to all your conversations. So remember that.
Oh
But
God,
but you know what it is? I think Connect came out too early. Nowadays, all the devices are listening to us, and
I
we're
think it
comfortable
was.
with it.
I think it was just bad. They tried to be more than what they needed to be. I mean,
Mhm.
I know what you're saying in terms of listening and stuff. Like,
Yeah, because all your devices listen to you. Like you have, like for example, I have this. What is this? I have Amazon something, and it's not plugged in right now. But when it's plugged in, it listens to you because
it
it wants to know what you like.
recommends you'll yeah, it recommend things based on conversations you're having and all this
Hmm.
other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Go get an Xbox if you want.
Yeah, we got Xbox. All right. I think they're pretty. You know what? It was hard to find the controls for it. I mean,
There's a lot of
again,
replicas, but yeah, the original controllers are hard.
they're tough to find. Like I
I
bought
have a
a.
couple here too.
If you don't need them, throw them my way.
Nah, I'm keeping. Oh no, I don't even think they work.
Now I actually bought. I had bought some knockoffs off eBay. I thought I didn't think they were knockoffs. They looked like they were just Korean versions of the controller.
They have a lot of replicas out there. Yeah,
Yeah, and I bought some, and I'm just like,
they don't
yo,
work, or they just
I,
felt
it's not they
funky.
don't work, but it just felt funny. Like you didn't feel like genuine. Like for example, I have an Xbox, the original Xbox, just to say. I have these third party controllers, not original controllers, but they feel just as good as the original ones. I don't even know where I bought. I don't even remember where I bought them from, but they're so good. They're solid. The ones I had for the 360, I was trying to get some wired controllers to play because it makes it easier.
Mm-hmm.
And I opened them, and
Well,
they just look. Oh man, look at those guns! Guns
mm.
out, suns out, guns out.
I
Look
gotta
at
go
that.
run. I gotta go run 4 miles in the morning.
Mm. I'm gonna try that tomorrow. What I'm
Marathon
gonna do
training.
tomorrow? I today, so I started going back to the gym. Actually, funny enough, this ending the
All right.
podcast real quick. I went
Yeah.
to the gym on Monday, didn't get a chance to
Or
go
edit this
until
shit
today.
out. I guess whatever.
All right, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you, Microsoft, for creating the Xbox 360, and giving us so many damn good memories and just kind of, changing the landscape of online gaming and, making us pay for horse armor. Thank you.
Yeah. It was good. You fucked up everything else after it, but
Hmm.
you know, yeah,
And
yeah.
now, games don't come complete anymore. So now, here we are at the trend. If your game, is an issue with the game, you can just update it.
Oh,
So now we
I,
have.
yeah. I was saying more in terms of the systems. They just they never caught same kind of popularity ever.
I think that was kind of
Yeah, they won.
self-inflicted. Thank you guys so much for watching the ABJ. Sorry.
What are we doing?
Thank you guys so much for watching the 8BGCAST. If you like this episode, please give us a like and please subscribe to the channel. Share, comment down below. Let us know if you have any 360 memories that you want to share with us. We'd love to talk about it in the comments. So thank you. So this is Steve and Sterl, and we're out, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Also, gonna let you guys know we're gonna be at the uh Long Island Retro Convention. I actually have to get the actual name, but it's the Retro Long Island Convention. So we'll be there live.
Like we're having a panel. Get out of here.
Yeah, we're having a panel in the parking lot. So
Yeah. Just and put us out of our miseries.
peace out, guys.
Bye.